Hi guys, so today what I'm doing is going through my shoes because I have so many of them and finding all my toddler shoes because I want to be able to use them on my toddlers, but right now they're just kind of all mixed together. So I'm going to separate the baby shoes from the toddler shoes, and using string was not a great idea because now all the string looks the same and it's really hard to untangle these. I might have to cut these ones apart, but let's see if we have better luck with other ones. Okay. So I have a massive obsession with baby shoes. I'll admit it. I love baby shoes. They're so cute. There we go. Okay, so like here's a pair of toddler boy shoes, little monsters. And I'm going to separate the baby and the toddler shoes and put all the shoes that need a match in one pile so I can... Here's another pair of shoes for toddler boys. We'll put those over there. This needs a match. I have these for girls. I have so many baby shoes. It's crazy. Put that in the girls pile. Here's some little slippers for girls. These are more baby than toddler, I think. So we'll put those right there. I'm going to separate girls and boys shoes and girls toddler shoes and boys toddler shoes because I have, this one needs a match. So many shoes, but I don't really get the opportunity to use them as much because, okay, here's the match to this one, because they're all kind of jumbled together and it makes it hard to find one when I'm looking for it. So like here's a pair of shoes. I need to get the girls' shoes out of the boys' nursery. Look at these slippers. Aren't they cute? Little Santa slippers. So cute. These could be used for either gender. Obviously, they came from Old Navy. I have these. Our boy toddler shoes. Here's another girl toddler shoe. That's got to go over there because it doesn't have a match. Those are baby shoes. This one needs a match. So how's everybody's day going? It looks like it's going to be a nice day here in Oregon. Oh, there's a shirt in here. It's going to be a nice day here. The weather is beautiful and comfortable today. Is there a slipper inside this slipper? There is not. Okay, so that needs a match. And then this one is a boy's shoe. Oh, here's the slipper. I don't know if there's, oh yeah, I guess there's a way though. I was going to say, I don't know if there's any way to put these together, but I can use the Velcro to put them together. So there's boy's toddler. Here's another boot. Here's a booty. I have a whole box back here, and then I have this chest right here filled with shoes. So you can see, and then I have more shoes in the other room. So I have lots of shoes. Lots and lots of shoes. See, here's a pair of boys' shoes. But I don't use the shoes as often, like I said, because they're usually just kind of all thrown together, and it makes it really hard for me to find the shoes I'm looking for. So that's why I'm going to separate them today. Do you guys like baby shoes, or do you prefer your babies to be barefoot? This one needs a match. I'm always curious about how people do things differently, you know. These are boys' shoes. They need to match. Here's a pair of girls' shoes, little black shoes, and a pair of slippers for boys, little bear slippers, I think. Here's a pair of girls' sneakers. Well, there's one girl sneaker. I'm sure the other one's in here somewhere. Here's that boot I found earlier. Here's another girl's shoe. A slipper. I saw this one earlier. So I have both of those. Little white sneakers. I have these. Whenever I go anywhere, I have these. And I see little baby shoes, I have to buy them. Here's another pair of girls' sneakers. Those could be boys, I suppose, but I always see the turquoise as girls. Here's another pair of boys' shoes. I think if I separate them, I'll be able to find what I'm looking for a little easier. Here's another pair of girls' shoes. A pair of Crocs. Here's a pair of girls' slippers. Here's another shirt. Cute. What did I do with that other shirt? I just had it. Oh, it's right there. Here's some more girls stuff. Here's a pair of girls sneakers. I love these little ballet slippers. I have several of those. Different sizes, different colors. Love them. Here's a pair of baby booties. Yep, Evie's back here hanging out with mom, huh? You hanging out with mommy, huh? Oh, my Everlyn. Here's a pair of girls' sandals. Little gold sneakers. Love these little walker boots. They're so cute. I think I saw this one before, the little sneaker, so I'll put that in that pile. Here's another pair of pink sandals. Has to go in the girls' room. Here's a slipper. They all need a match, but that's what I'm doing today, matching. Here's another pair of boys' sneakers. A pair of girls' duck boots. A little pink shoe. Here's a gold shoe. I think I'm going to sell some of my shoes because I have so many shoes. My baby shoe addiction is crazy. Here's some blue and white shoes. Here's a little booty where the booty's stuck inside it. Here's the other Croc. Here's another boot. Pair of pink shoes. Another little booty with a face on it. These got to be soaked. They've gotten discolored just from I've had them so long. Here's another pair of little sneakers for girls. Here's a slipper and a tennis shoe. Another tennis shoe. I have two pairs of these. Here's a pair of bunny slippers and a booty. Here's a little Jordan, Air Jordans for babies. I found the other one of those earlier, so I know it's in here. Here's another pair of sneakers, or not sneakers, but shoes. Here's a little pair of sneakers, little hearts on them. That's an ace bandage. I'm not sure why it's in there. I love these little blue shoes with the bow. So cute. Here's another sneaker. We saw this one earlier, the match to that one. And then here's another little pair of sandals. A white booty. I had a little pair of plaid dress shoes. They were like Christmas dress shoes. And I've only been able to find one in the last like year. Here's another pair of shoes. So I've been wanting to go through these shoes to find the match to that one little booty that or not booty, but little shoe that I like. Here's a pair of slippers. Here's another slipper, little dog slipper. I think it's a dog. Here's a little pair of boots, little bows on them, and a gold ballet slipper. I got a lot of those ballet slippers at Macy's several years ago. I love them. Here's a little pair of silver sandals. Here's a pair of shoes that are old. Kind of looking a little desperate, but that's okay. I love these sneakers. I have like 2 pairs of those. Here's another little shoe. Little white shoe. And a white sneaker that needs to be soaked, because it's funny how the white eyelet stuff discolors a lot, you know? Like my other white stuff doesn't discolor over time, but that does. Here's a little boy's loafer. I already found the match to this one. Isn't that cute? Here's another shoe. A little flat and a ladybug shoe. Here's a slippers, pair of slippers. The other slippers down inside there. There's a booty. Here's a little shoe and a sneaker. These are cute, except you have to have baby with separated toes to wear these. And not a lot of them have separated toes, but some of them do. Here's a little black patent leather shoe. These are boys. There's that same shoe we just saw. And another little patent leather shoe. I got all different kinds of black shoes. And in a lot of cases I have doubles, so I really need to go through my shoes and get rid of some. Here's a match to that sneaker we saw earlier. Here's a slipper. Another set of white shoes that have to be soaked. Here's the match to that sneaker with the hearts on it. Some little white polka dotted shoes. I gotta soak all those white shoes. Here's a little boot. Little cowboy boot. I love these. They're so cute on toddlers. Here's a Minnie Mouse shoe. This is a boy's shoe. Here's another girl's sandal. We already found the match to that one. Some pink patent leather shoes. These are adorable. These have little beads on them. Here's another little shoe. Are these mittens? These look like mittens. They don't even go in here. And here's a booty. Put the booty over here. And then here's another boy's shoe. Here's a slipper. And then we have some white sparkly shoes and the match to that little slipper we saw earlier. And a gold sneaker. Now we'll put the boys' shoes back in this box here. I love these little sandals. Got little bugs on them. They're so cute. I'll work on making matches out of all these shoes, but I think if I separate them, it'll be easier to find the matches, you know? I gotta soak this one. It's a little off color. I guess it's not. Anyway, put that over there till I find the match. So what's everybody doing today? Are you guys playing with babies this weekend? Those are all girls' shoes. Let me just push the shoes out of the way so I can come forward. There we go. I am wearing shorts under my little skirt, so I'm not showing off my underwear. There are a pair of shorts under there. All right, now I got to go through and get all the girls' shoes out of here. There's a pair of boys' socks. These are cute. Little unicorn shoes. And then we have these. Those are toddler shoes. These little bunny slippers have rattles in them. They're so cute. I saw a match to this one. I have so many girls' shoes. Here's a pair of sneakers for a toddler. Pink. Here's boys' toddler shoes. Girls' sandals. Girls' Pooh Bear shoes that I got from my sister, Ashley Stormfire. There's a red booty that I know has a match somewhere. Here's another shoe. Look at these. Aren't these adorable? Look. Little, I think they look like golf shoes. Here's a pair of black sneakers for my boys. Oh, here's the match to that other one I just found. Little booty. Here's a pair of dog slippers. And a pair of giraffe slippers. Here's a big pair of sneakers for boys. Girls. I'm going to leave the girls in this room, in this chest. But I need to get all the boys out. Here's a pair of elephant slippers. And a pair of girls' boots. Winter boots. Gold shoe. Brown. Mary Jane's. Little boots. Tiny Crocs, which I think are just too cute. Here's another pair of ladybug shoes. My goal today is to find the toddler shoes and get them set aside. Here's a little pair of boots and some baby walkers. Here's a boy's shoe. Another boy's shoe. These are cute, little gray sneakers. Little boots. I have these. I have to find the match for. All right, here's a toddler shoe. Looks like little wedding shoes. Put the baby walkers aside because baby walkers could go for either of a boy or a girl. Here's a little pair of pink sneakers. Those are baby shoes. There's a pin. At one point I was using pins to keep the shoes together. Those are pretty. I like those. Those are toddler shoes. Here's a little pair of boys' sneakers. Rosette shoes. Pair of gray and pink sneakers. A pair of red with little roses on them. Those are more baby than toddler, I think. I have these little boat shoes. Here's a pair of dog slippers. Here's a gray booty. I gotta find the match to that. These are cute little sandals. Here's another pair of boys' work boots. And a girl's sneaker, toddler. I gotta find the match to this one. Here's a little pair of unicorn sneakers. There's a boy's shoe. Girls, black satin with bows on them. Those are toddler shoes. Got this one. We got this one. Little Evie, what are you doing? What size are these? These are 2, so these are baby sized. Baby size shoes. Here's a slipper, a pair of socks. These are really pretty. Look at these. Hold on, I gotta fix them. Aren't those pretty? Beautiful little sneakers. I got these off Temu. I'm gonna buy another couple pairs because I really like them. They're really pretty. I need a white pair and like a purple pair probably. Here's some ballet slippers. Those are toddlers. I saw the match to this one a minute ago. Here it is. I use the Velcro to attach the sneakers to each other. Oh, here's the booty, the match to the booty. And these are kind of big, so these probably could be toddler booties. Let me see. What size are they? Yeah, 12 months, so they could be toddler booties. Little beige shoes. Some white shoes that toddlers could probably wear. I have these that are almost too big for any of my babies, but I have to try them on my Perla, my biggest baby, and see if they'll fit her. Here's a little pair of pink sneakers. I have so many shoes. It's just comical how many shoes I have. Little sneakers. Those are baby size though. Here's another little sneaker, little white sneaker. I know I have the match to that one. Here's a little pair of ballet slippers. I love the ballet slippers. It's a boy's shoe. I already saw the match to that one. It's in there. These are so cute. Look, little Mickey shoes. Had those forever. There's another pair of shoes with roses on the strap. Little white shoe with a bow on it. Some blue shoes. Another pair of red ones made out of roses. I love these New Balances, but I think they're babies. They're not toddlers, but they're cute. Look how cute. I'm doing a video. What do you need?
I haven't gotten to see you this morning yet.
All right, well, hang on a second. I got to end my video. Well, guys, I'll chat with you later. My daughter just came down and I need to talk to her. So I'll do another video later. Have a great day. Love you, ladybugs. Bye.